About 2/3 of the prophecies of Nostradamus have already come to fruition.
What Nostradamus predicted has just begun, and everyone is scared soon. We will see a pope replaced by a younger successor, while a lethal virus, dormant for 40,000 years, will emerge and cause mass deaths. More than 100,000 people could lose their lives, and large areas of these countries will become uninhabitable. The population of these regions will have to eat extremely hard food to survive, facing a famine so terrible that people will turn to cannibalism. We will face even more destructive climate disasters than we have ever seen before. A giant force will pull the oceans into cities, resulting in devastating tsunamis that will destroy homes and cause the loss of hundreds of lives. A fire on a ship, plague, captivity, and a celestial stone that will fall to earth, followed by a great fire, will complete the apocalyptic scenario. When the sun embraces the head of the shining sea, the live fish of the Black Sea will almost cook themselves. From heaven will come a great king of terror. The king of the islands will be forced to abdicate, and after 7 months of a great war, people will die from evil acts. This is what happens when humans try to be gods, creating beings in our image that are not made of blood and that come to dominate the world. Michel de Nostradam, known as Nostradamus, born in France in 1503, was a unique and distinct figure of his time. He rose to fame as a weigher, physician, and astrologer during the 16th century, gaining fame for his incredible predictions about the future. His prophecies, often shocking, frightening, mysterious, and intriguing, attracted the attention of many, making his name remembered for centuries. Nostradamus collected all of his predictions in an enigmatic book called Les Prophéties, published in 1555, which became famous for containing hundreds of prophecies that still intrigue millions of people today. Today, we'll explore 20 Nostradamus predictions that could come true. If you like videos like this and haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button below the video so you can more quickly and easily understand all these signals. We are facing difficult times when prophecies are being fulfilled, but many do not realize what is happening around the world. For this reason, I decided to offer a gift to all channel subscribers, a digital ebook, The Secret of the Holy Bible, so that you can access it immediately. The link is in the comment first. In this book, I reveal all the secrets of biblical prophecies that will shock you. Don't waste time. Click on the comment first, as we only have a few units available, and it will soon be removed. Prediction number 20. Nostradamus predicted a future with dry lands, dramatic floods, waves of plague, famine, tsunamis, and more. He mentioned that the arid land would become even drier and that great floods would occur. Although it did not specify the locations of these catastrophes, it was more detailed about the devastating tsunamis. Nostradamus warned of great fame because of waves of nightmares, which could be interpreted as tsunamis that would destroy agriculture, causing illness and widespread fame. Given the accuracy of their upcoming predictions, it is possible that we will face even more destructive climate disasters. Prediction number 19. Nostradamus also made several frightening predictions about the future of technology and warfare. He imagined a world in which advanced weapons and cyber attacks would provoke abuse and wreak havoc on nations. These events could lead to a conflict between humans and machines, creating a worrying scenario for the future. Although these predictions have not yet emerged, they act as a reminder about the possible consequences of a technological advance. With technology evolving rapidly, it is crucial to avoid such news and tread with extreme caution. Prediction number 18. One of the most unexpected disasters is the earthquake, whose effects can range from a small tremor to a gigantic force that pulls the oceans towards cities. Nostradamus predicted a cataclysmic earthquake in eastern Japan that would bring a devastating tsunami, resulting in the destruction of homes and the loss of hundreds of lives. The Japan Meteorological Agency announces that the region faces several frequent earthquakes, one of them with a magnitude of 7.6, with waves that sometimes reach hundreds of meters in height. The latest earthquake and tsunami warnings issued by authorities reflect the possible accuracy of Nostradamus's prediction about this event. Prediction number 17. In recent years, China's growing global influence has raised concerns among geopolitical experts. China's rise as a global power has led many to speculate about the possibility of a confrontation. This speculation is affected by the history of Chinese military power in regions such as the Chinese East Sea and Taiwan, often demonstrated through its warships. Nostradamus made predictions that resemble this current situation, writing about a battle and a naval conflict, indicating the possibility of military confrontations at sea. Nostradamus describes a scenario in which the red opponent, a reference to communist China, would turn to fear, instilling terror in the Great Ocean, possibly referring to the Indian Ocean. Prediction number 16. In the field of psychic predictions, Nostradamus mentioned that humans would have the opportunity to meet extraterrestrial beings. However, contrary to popular fears of a frightening invasion, he suggested that this contact would happen through encrypted signals picked up by a network of telescopes, indicating a form of communication. The idea of communicating with extraterrestrial beings has always fascinated the human imagination, and advances in technology could bring us closer to that possibility. With beings from other planets can bring us new knowledge about science, technology, and even philosophical questions about life beyond Earth. However, this interaction could also generate a galactic war, or, at least, result in an invasion by extraterrestrial beings. Prediction number 15. In one of his predictions, Nostradamus anticipated that, because of age, a pope would be replaced by a younger successor. He wrote that, after the death of a very old pointer, a good-aged Roman would have taken the role. Furthermore, he warned that this new leader would strain his position and hold the position for a long period of time. The exact meaning of striving remains open to interpretation, raising questions about whether the Church's influence will affect or whether a significant scandal could arise. Pope Francis has recently faced health problems, highlighting the possible need for a successor soon. The interpretation of this forecast is still uncertain, which leaves room for speculation about the actions and the impact of the new pope during his period. Prediction number 14. Nostradamus made surprising accusations about a disaster involving the collision of asteroids. Because of the astrological basis of his 942 poetic comics in 𝗕𝗵𝗋, it is difficult to determine the exact data. However, Nostradamus describes a celestial stone that would fall to Earth, followed by a great fire. Some interpret this fire as a reference to a climate disaster, such as a devastating forest fire. Nostradamus is not the only one to suggest the possibility of an asteroid falling to Earth. Craig Hamilton Parker, known as the new Nostradamus, also spoke about the dangers of this event. However, Parker believes that even if the threat of an impact exists, it does not necessarily mean the end of the world. Prediction number 13. Nostradamus predicted that humanity would be affected by various diseases. He mentioned a great calamity that would affect America and Lombardy, Italy. The excerpt also talks about a ship fire, the catastrophe, the captivity, and the specific astrological positions of Mercury in Sagittarius and Saturn as a warning. References to catastrophe and captivity align with the current global situation, but other elements of the text also appear to correlate. Interestingly, Saturn's entry into Sagittarius in December 2019 coincided with the first disaster of the pandemic, while Saturn's transition into Aquarius coincided with lockdown in March. However, the forecast may cover an event that is yet to come. Nostradamus also talked about a dead virus that had been erased for 40,000 years, and that, with the shedding of glaciers, would be released, causing widespread deaths. Prediction number 12. Nostradamus predicted a global economic disaster. In one of his comics, he wrote that the price of milk would rise so much that man would rescue himself from cannibalism. Indeed, the world faces economic challenges. The cost of the life crisis puts pressure on individuals and families, making it difficult for some to cover even basic needs. Nostradamus's description of people rescuing themselves from cannibalism due to the high price of milk seems pointless in the current context, but it is a reminder of how frightening the thought of a major economic disaster can be. Prediction number 11. Recent claims suggest that Nostradamus predicted a catastrophic volcanic eruption in Yellowstone. His predictions, collected in the book 𝗕𝗵𝗶𝘀 fascinate theorists who dedicate time to interpret and analyze his scriptures. According to these theorists, Nostradamus predicted a devastating event, with a volcanic fire and a worldwide earthquake that would occur in the new city. Nostradamus's followers believed that his verses mention an earthquake that would specifically affect the area west of the new city with global repercussions. In the event that Yellowstone experiences a volcanic eruption, it is suggested that sulfur dioxide emissions could cause a significant threat. Furthermore, more than 100,000 people could lose their lives, and large parts of the United States could become uninhabitable. Before continuing with the video, an important message. Don't forget to grab your copy of our book. It's in the first pinned comment of this video. Prediction number 10. In February 2024, Buckingham Palace announced that British King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. The 75-year-old monarch would temporarily step away from his public appearances to undergo treatment. Nostradamus's predictions came to the fore again, especially with regard to possible danger within the royal family. According to Nostradamus, it was predicted that the king might abdicate and that Prince Harry might ascend to the throne. He wrote that the king of the islands would be forced to abdicate and would be replaced by someone who did not possess the qualities of a monarch. Mario Reading, a British author who has studied Nostradamus's predictions in depth, also pointed to this possibility. It is worth remembering that Nostradamus made several predictions about reality that turned out to be accurate, including the unexpected death of Queen Elizabeth in 2022. Prediction number 9. Nostradamus predicted the arrival of large cuttlefish that would capture the attention of humanity. In one of his writings, he drew a vision of immense destruction, where the intensity of the sun scorched the surface of the sea, and the live fish in the Black Sea almost cooked themselves. The cities of Rhodes and Genoa would be described as half-perverts, noting how the local population cut back on their own rations to survive. Cryptic verses paint a picture of a catastrophic event, highlighting the intensification of global warming and its consequences on both the environment and human societies. The phrase, "live fish almost cook themselves," is quite simple. Prediction number 8. Nostradamus suggested that through scientific progress and the development of mechanical organs, human lifespan could be significantly extended, reaching 150 to 170 years. As we continue to advance scientifically and technologically, it seems possible that the human lifespan could be extended through advances and innovative approaches to healthcare. However, the specific details and actual results of these developments remain to be seen. Analysts point to the potential for gene sequencers, high-tech companies, and biotechnology to bring unprecedented improvements to the quality and length of human lives. Prediction number 7. Nostradamus also seems to make predictions about the end of the world with remarkable accuracy. In his offices, He declared that in the year 1999, 7 months later, a great king of terror would come from heaven. This would be the reanimation of the great king of Angoulême. And before and after this, Mars would come according to his desire. Many people suggest that Nostradamus was referring to the king of terror as the Antichrist. Some argue that the term Angoulême indicated an imminent invasion of Eastern Europe, possibly by the Russians, Chinese, or descendants of Genghis Khan. The concern generated by Nostradamus's predictions was so frightening that Professor Alexander Tollmann, a well-known expert on Nostradamus, took refuge in his bunker in Lower Austria in anticipation of a catastrophic event that never happened. Prediction number 6. Nostradamus predicted a family so terrible and violent that people would resort to cannibalism. He wrote that the price of milk would rise so much that man would resort to cannibalism, indicating the consequences of exploding food prices and possible social fire. The mention that the streets in Genoa would reinforce themselves implies a lack of food, forcing desperate people to resort to extreme measures to survive. In the current context, many countries, such as the United States, have already had their highest inflation rates in 4 decades, which makes Nostradamus's assessment even more relevant. He weighs us in on the potential for a huge fire and the possibility that people will come against each other in stunning ways. Prediction number 5. Nostradamus famously predicted a fire in a real structure. Some interpret this as the emergence of a new world order from the flames of civilization. Followers of Nostradamus believe this could mean the end of times or the beginning of a transformative global paradigm. Interpretations of this prediction vary, and enthusiasts suggest a variety of possibilities. Some believe it could be a meteorite hitting Buckingham Palace, while others speculate about a fire that engulfed 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗽 royal residence. Although these events have not yet occurred, increasing efforts in space exploration, such as that of Elon Musk advancing the colonization of Mars, suggest that the arrival of humans on the Red Planet and possible future disasters are in line with Nostradamus's prediction. Prediction number 4. This is what happens when humans try to be gods, creating other beings in our image that are not made of flesh and that come to dominate the world. Under the full moonlight on a high mountain, a new sage with a solitary brain observes this phenomenon, invited by his disciples to become immortal. With his eyes facing south, his hands on his neck, and his body consumed by fire. This scene described by Nostradamus suggests the emergence of artificial intelligence and its possible implications. As science systems become more sophisticated and begin to gain consciousness, there is a warning that one of them may become conscious and potentially take control of our interconnected systems. This enigmatic vision suggests a global emergence of technology, in which science transcends predicted limits and acquires consciousness or autonomy, leading to disruption and presenting significant challenges for humanity to overcome. In his 16th-century text, 𝗬𝗵𝗋, Nostradamus made a prediction about a significant event in our history. Light falls on Mars. One interpretation of this prophecy is that humans will eventually reach the point of placing themselves on the planet. Elon Musk previously mentioned that space flights to Mars could be possible in 2029 and considered this crucial for survival, highlighting several external threats that could lead to the end of human civilization, such as meteorites, higher volcanoes, extreme climate change, or World War III. Interestingly, in July 2022, 2 California-based companies, Relativity Space and Impulse Space, announced their collaboration to launch the first commercial mission to Mars earlier than the year, anticipated by SpaceX. Whether it's Relativity Space, Impulse Space, or SpaceX that gets to Mars first, there's a sense of prejudice surrounding Nostradamus's prediction. Its followers believe that the mention of light falling on Mars could indicate possible explosions, potentially caused by space accidents during the mission. Prediction number 2. More than half a millennium ago, Nostradamus already predicted that scientific advances could significantly extend human life, imagining a future in which people could even become immortal. He believed that this increase in life expectancy would be possible thanks to the development of mechanical organs. Even if some people doubt it, it is important to remember that Nostradamus had experience in medicine before becoming famous. He began his career as an apostle during the Renaissance, where he offered several remedies that met with different levels of success. At that time, he moved into medicine and became a doctor in the 16th century. That time, doctors in training needed to study various subjects, including astrology, which, despite being considered a pseudoscience today, was valued as it was believed that celestial bodies such as stars and planets influenced human life, including health. Therefore, knowing how to interpret astrological charts and horoscopes was essential for doctors when evaluating and treating patients. Prediction number 1. And who would be better suited to bring about the end of the world than the Antichrist himself? According to Nostradamus, the Antichrist is generally seen as a symbol of absolute evil and is expected to play a crucial role in the final events, or in the decisive battle between good and evil. Nostradamus discussed the Antichrist in his prophecies, including the emergence of this being and a long war that would last 27 years. In their views, the concept of Antichrist refers more to leaders of great nations whose decisions resulted in the deaths of innocent people, rather than a specific satanic entity opposed to Jesus Christ. Interpretations of Nostradamus's prophecies about the emergence of the Antichrist are diverse, with some suggesting the arrival of an individual who would personify the Antichrist, while others point to a broader vision in which the Antichrist could represent a group, an ideology, or even a nation. Don't forget to download our book, The Secret Behind Biblical Prophecies. There are already more than 500,000 copies sold, and we are at the last units, so don't waste time and enjoy. I guarantee that you will acquire a lot of knowledge after reading this sensational book, written with great care and love for all our channel subscribers, completely based on the Holy Bible. The link is in the first comment. Click now on the video that appears on your screen to discover all the revelations about the future based on Nostradamus's prophecy. This is just the beginning of an intriguing journey through time, and one of the most impactful predictions ever made. If you like the content and want to continue following the interpretations and analyses of these prophecies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be notified about new videos that explore more mysterious and surprising predictions. Join together and descend deep into the unknown, discovering what the future may hold. Have you ever wondered about the mysteries of biblical prophecies and how they are being fulfilled before our eyes? This is the time to understand the signs of the end times and the divine plan that is unfolding. On our channel, you will find in-depth analysis of prophetic events, such as the arrival of the Antichrist, the rebuilding of the Temple in Jerusalem, and the role of global powers in the 2030 agenda. We explore topics such as advanced technology and its connection to Scripture, offering clear, grounded insight to strengthen your faith and prepare you for the times to come. By subscribing to the channel, you will have access to exclusive and transformative content that unveils the mysteries of the Scriptures, explained in a simple and practical way. Our mission is to help you understand current events from a biblical perspective, while building a community of people committed to seeking the truth and living according to God's plans. Don't waste time. Each video could be the answer you were looking for. Click the subscribe button right now and activate the bell so you don't miss any content. This is more than a channel. It is a call for you to prepare and strengthen your faith. Time is running out, but those who trust in Christ are safe. Sign up today and discover how to fully live what God has in store for you.